Welcome everybody to what I think is quite an exciting event today, hosted by the Digital Agri-Food Collective and the Netherlands Food Partnership. Today we will be talking about data protection, data sharing, informed consent, and focus a bit on the balance between innovation that's currently happening and the regulation that is catching up. So let me first introduce myself and the Digital Agri-Food Collective. So I am Rojan Bolling, Senior Knowledge Broker at the Netherlands Food Partnership and facilitator of the Digital Agri-Food Collective, or the DAC. And the DAC is a group of organizations that is learning and exchanging together to improve our work, to align our strategies, to develop pilots, try to remove barriers that stand in between digital services and the millions of low-income producers, consumers, and agribusinesses worldwide that can benefit from it. Over the past 3 years, the DAC has dived into topics like digital inclusion, commercial viability, measuring impact, and most recently, we have been learning about data governance. And specifically, we have been interested in how organizations handle farmer consent and how to deal with such consent in business models that build on data sharing. Um, I think, as many of you know, consent is often handled as a kind of a little bit of a tick box exercise. You get a farmer to sign and you can go ahead and try to help them out with your digital service. So last year we thought, okay, let's see if we can do better. I know there's many initiatives, trying to do the same, and we thought we can try to do our own initiative. So together with DAC members, we co-created a training on consent that was piloted with our DAC member Yielder among 3,700 farmers. We tried to engage farmers on the use of their data, we provided a more extensive consent form. We gave them more options to choose how their data was used, and whom it was shared with. And after the training, we followed up with a phone survey to 400 of the farmers. And from this, we hope that we could show that if you spend time talking to farmers about data, they would be more willing to share their data. And this would then create an incentive to talk to farmers about it more. But from this experiment, we learned that the part of talking to farmers and getting them on the basis of the talk to share more, it was in fact true. Farmers who received the training were more likely to share. We also had a segment that didn't receive the training, so we could see the difference. However, what mattered most, we found out later, was actually their trust in the intermediary, the trainer, company, or person who was actually talking to them, and not so much the information. So, it begs the question, if you talk about informed consent, what does informed mean? And that is also why we have the panel of today. Much is happening in the data governance sphere. Many African countries are passing data protection laws, just like the EU GDPR, which has been kind of a reference point. Cross-border data flows are being regulated. So what does it mean for companies trying to provide services that farmers need very much? More, if you are operating across borders, like many companies, but also NGOs, what rules apply to you? And what if you are receiving European donor money and operating in an African country, gathering, data on African farmers? For many people, it's still a bit unclear, this whole area of data protection. It's a bit unclear what to do. People want to do the right thing, and at the same time, regulators are starting to hand out hefty fines as well. Beyond this, we can take a bit broader perspective and ask, are we actually on the right track? Many farmers are happy to receive new digital services. So perhaps some of these rules may be hampering innovation as well, innovation that can help out a lot of people. So with us today, there are some experts that can help give a bit more clarity into such questions. So let me introduce the agenda of today. So we'll start the meeting with a presentation by Jane Ombiro. She is Head of Data Protection Services at South End Tech, which is a data compliance advisory firm. And she's also a researcher for the Association of Privacy Lawyers in Africa. After Jane, we will hear from Jan Willem van Kastelen. He is the CEO and co-founder at eProd. That's a firm that delivers supply chain management software for agribusinesses. He will tell us a bit about their practice in gathering consent and how they have recently incorporated biometric information into this. After this, we go on to a panel to hear reflections and a bit of discussions from a number of experts, which includes Thomas Moerman. He is a project advisor at the Netherlands Enterprise Agency, which is a donor organization that funds public-private partnerships, programs incorporating digital solutions. We hear from Franklin Agola. He is a manager AgTech at the Tony Blair Institute for Global Change, who's been working with the Kenyan government for the past year to help set up its data protection regulations and much, much more, as I've learned in my talks with Franklin. Emmanuel Macau, he's a senior regional technology and data manager at Mercy Corps Agrifin, which is a leading program that leverages digital technology and innovation to develop digital projects and services. And Candice Krauts-Kabongo, she's team leader digital innovations at Solidaridad. And she's been working with Kavuno, which is a business that bundles digital services for farmers, starting it up as a Solidaridad project. So let's get ready to start our first presentation. That is Jane. So Jane, please share your screen as we agreed.